Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking apart an original Xbox 360 white controller to replace its destroyed thumbsticks. Yours will certainly not be as dirty as this one, I hope, but it all starts with the same process of popping off the back panel. There are 7 total screws holding these together, and one of them is hidden behind the barcode label right here. You will need a specialty screwdriver bit for this too. A Torx T8 with a hole in the end, which is the security or tamper-proof bit, is needed. I'm using a T9 here since for some reason it just happens to fit a little bit more snugly for me. You can get dedicated screwdrivers or even little Allen keys like these for the job, but I would highly recommend getting a bit set if you're going to be doing more than one of these. Your fingers will thank you when you're done too. This is a fairly simple process, just like the original Xbox version of these controllers, but getting everything apart carefully is the key. Pull apart the top first near the triggers, and then each of the lower wing areas second. If you have one available, a spudger is a very useful tool to get into the cracks of the controller and pry it apart without damaging the housing at all. But once you have it apart, you can now see the rear of the board and pop it loose from the front by prying it up in the lower middle. This housing is very dirty, and I'll give it a quick rinse off camera in just a little bit. Speaking of which, this is a great opportunity to clean all of the internals once you have the circuit board out too. Since the board is really dirty as well, I'm going to clean it up before putting on the new sticks. I'm just using some high percentage IPA to clean this entire area and remove any of the caked on mess that's here too. Now that it's clean, the new sticks should pop into place without much effort. If they don't, make sure you have them in the correct direction or check the insides of the sticks. Since most of these are cheaply produced now, the insides can be molded slightly off and may need to be cleaned or adjusted with a hobby knife to fit. This doesn't happen often, but could still be an issue in some cases. Also, make sure to get the proper color based on which 360 controller you have. Black is probably the most common version, but if you have a white controller like this one, getting the gray sticks fit best. I'll leave links in the description for each if you're interested. I'm not going to do any super deep cleaning on this unit, but I'd still like to get all the big debris out of this controller shell if possible, since it's open. One cleaning tip is to remove the D-pad from the housing completely. There are 2 small screws and a clip holding it in place. But once it is out, you can properly clean behind it to make sure that it isn't sticking in any one direction. It comes apart and goes back together pretty easily, so don't be afraid to take it apart for cleaning to make your controller that much better. But reassembly should be a breeze once everything is clean and the new sticks are in place. Pop the bottom edge piece of the housing back in place first, then seat the circuit board back into position. Sometimes it'll click into place, and this is probably from seating it over the 5 screw mounts on the inside of the housing. One thing to pay attention to is the position of the rumble motors. Make sure the wires won't be crushed at all and roll them out of the way of the housing's pinch points. Normally you will feel what direction they want to go towards. In my case, having the wires point towards the center of the controller was good. As you put the rear housing on, slide the triggers in first and push up on the battery terminals to get them into place second. This really helps me always get it into the correct position each time when I'm closing up the housings. Add back in the 7 screws and go play some, because you're done. Super simple fix to get your playtime feeling like normal again. If you enjoyed this video, you should check out some of my other ones on the channel, because I have other how-tos that are exactly like this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next fix. Now I'm going to go clean this thing up because this is still way too dirty. See you later.